Hi everybody, welcome to this live stream. I wanted to show you this amazing belt, but I realized all you can see is yourself. You can see my laptop there, you can see the light, and you can see all of my sticky handprints on it. But look how incredible and amazing this is. I won a contest a while ago called the Ultimate Content Warrior Challenge, and this is one of my prizes. It's absolutely huge. That is not not a flattering angle, but I just wanted to show you it. It's massive. No pictures do this justice. It can go around me. I can put my arms in it, and still have too much room. It's huge, absolutely huge. I'm going to put it out the way now because it's too shiny. Hello to everybody who is in here in the live stream today. I see we have got my dad in here. We have got Marcus in here, who is always in here 2 hours early, and he did make it 2 hours early today, so well done, Marcus. And Sean in here too, 2 hours early also. Apologies if my t-shirt gives you a headache. I think it's giving me a headache from all of the stripes moving around. I was so worried about that. I actually have a jumper to the side, what we would call a jumper here in the UK anyway. So if I do give you a headache with this t-shirt, let me know and I will put a jumper on because I don't want you to have a headache for a full hour. It has been the most crazy week for, I think, almost everybody in the cruise world. I think Australia is the only place that doesn't have any good cruise news. And I'm sorry for all of you guys over that way. My channel this week has gone absolutely crazy. I had one of my really old YouTube videos. It's about more than 18 months old, and it just got 500,000 views this week, which is just crazy. But it's brought so many new people to my channel. So if you're a new person and you are here, hello, and thank you so much for watching that random video that seemed to show up on everybody's home page. I had so many comments that said, like, I've never wanted to go on a cruise. Why am I watching this? It was really nice to see some comments who said, I don't even want to go on a cruise. I've just subscribed because I like to hear you talk about random things. They were really nice comments. Loads of people in the chat today, loads of people looking to book cruises, I think. In the UK, we've got so many options. It feels honestly quite overwhelming because I want to book them all. I really want to book them all. A lot of them you have to have vaccines for. So that takes the pressure off of me because I'm not going to have the vaccine for ages. So I can't book those. Sometimes it's quite nice to have less choice. At the moment, the only cruise line I could cruise with from the UK in summer is MSC because they're not requiring vaccines. So I'm definitely going to try and jump on one of those. Hello to Matt from Royal Caribbean Blog who says, blimey, is this the Emma? This is the Emma. Yes, it is. This was my channel got 1 million views this month, which is totally insane. I left my day job 2 weeks ago. So the fact that I've had 1 million views this month, it feels encouraging. I'm not sure if it is a sign or anything like that, but it's quite nice when things do work out. I'm not expecting to get 1 million views every single month again, but honestly, it was just an absolutely crazy week. So many new people in here, and it's so nice to talk about river cruising again. I haven't talked about river cruising for ages, but I'd love to do a river cruise. Could you do Disney, says Mac? That's a great question. In theory, yes, I could do Disney. I did quickly have a look and see if there were any spare organs I have that I could sell in order to afford a Disney cruise. Disney is just way out of my budget at the minute. I was never really a huge Disney kid. I never wanted to be a Disney princess or anything like that. So Disney just isn't something I've really looked into. I would love to cruise with Disney, of course. I have a couple of nieces. They're really into their Disney. They'd love it, but we'll wait and see. At the moment, it's not on my to book list because MSC, I think, is the one I'm looking at. I'd love to do Viking again, but Viking sold out before they even went on sale, which is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Have you tried a barge river cruise? I haven't, but what I have done is I did go to a river conference where they had a barge there where you could rent it out. And barge makes it sound not that nice, really, to me. Barge sounds like, I don't know, not like a cruise. But this was incredible. If I had enough money and enough friends to fill one of those tiny little ships, I would definitely do that. Sean says, any questions, please put questions so Emma can see it. Yes, please do. The comments do go very fast. If you can do like this and put question in capital letters, it just makes it so much easier for me. And that helps everybody, I think. I really don't want to miss any of your questions. I don't want to miss any of your comments. but they go so fast. Have Disney released cruises yet? They haven't released specific cruises. They've just told everybody that they're going to do cruises. Same with Marella. They're going to do some British Isles cruises. And I'm sure others will too. So I'm kind of waiting, working out what everything's going to be, rather than just going straight away and booking the first thing. Have you heard if Royal Caribbean or Norwegian will be doing UK cruises too? I haven't heard anything confirmed, but I think that they probably will. I think they would be really silly not to. They've got enough ships floating around that haven't been cruising for a while. So fingers crossed. I would love that. I would really, really love that. Royal Caribbean blog Matt says, did you call Disney and say, do you know who I am? I didn't do that, and I do not think that would work. If you want to start a petition and get everybody to sign it and send it to Disney and say, let Emma on for a couple of days, that would be fantastic. But apart from that, no. Do you think MSC cruises from Miami will happen in August? I don't know what America is doing, to be honest. Every time I look, I get more and more confused. I'm not sure. I would say don't hold your breath for it, but also it could still happen. It's not completely impossible. I try and keep up with it, but things change so fast, especially in the US. It's crazy to me that the US can't cruise, but it seems to me like most life in the US is going on as normal. We're in a really strict lockdown here in the UK, so I completely understand why we're not cruising, because I can't go to a restaurant, I can't go anywhere, so it makes sense. But in the US, not so sure, not so sure. Peter says, maybe you could sneak on Disney dressed as a mouse. Yes, maybe I could, maybe I could. Benedict says, are you going to book one of Princess's new cruises to nowhere? I am not, because you have to be vaccinated to do a Princess cruise, and I'm going to be right at the end of the vaccine list. I think, well, I don't know, but I think it's going to be kind of July time for me for my first vaccine, and then it's 3 months till you have your second vaccine. So it's probably going to be October time before I can actually get on a cruise that requires a vaccine. So no, I did have a British Isles cruise booked for this August, and I have moved it till next year. So I am going to be doing a British Isles cruise with Princess. But as far as the cruises to nowhere, I can't. I'd love to. Have you considered becoming a volunteer vaccinator? I did see Ben and David did that. It helps. I think Ben was cabin crew, so he's got some kind of training. I have looked by me for kind of volunteer things, and it says we don't need anybody anymore. We've got everything sorted out. So I have looked. And plus, there are other cruise lines that don't require vaccines. I'm quite happy to cruise with MSC. I would love to cruise with Disney. That would be fine. Showing off being so young, says Gary. Yeah, it's not my fault. Not my fault. But yeah. Do you know if the crew will be vaccinated? Thanks for your videos. I don't think that I don't think I can say yes, they will be vaccinated, because here in the UK, vaccines are given out on a needs basis. You can't buy them here, so they can't just get vaccines for their crew. If their crew are coming from somewhere where they can get vaccines, I'm sure they will, but I haven't heard yet that they will 100%. So I'm not confident in answering that question. We don't know, I think, is the answer. I really enjoyed today. I changed the name of our Facebook group. You may notice if you're on Facebook, because the way Facebook works is it updates constantly. And at the moment, it looks like everything that anybody has said is said by me. And it's getting me kind of not in trouble, but people will quote me and it's not me. And I really don't want that to happen, because, you know, I have to be careful what I say online. So I changed it. It is just called Cruise News, Tips and Chat, hosted by Emma Cruises. So there's still the hosted by me. It very much is my Facebook group. I host it, I run it, but not everything in there is said by me. I think we've got 8,000 members in the Facebook group now. So if you are in there, thank you for joining me over here. Some people are watching this on Facebook, I believe, too. I do keep wondering if I should do this on Facebook and YouTube or just put it on YouTube. But it is what it is. It's fine. How do we encourage everyone to have their vaccine? Some people are refusing and will put us at risk, says Mike. You don't. You let people do whatever they want, and we have our vaccines and we go on the cruises that require vaccines and we have a great time. I think that's all we can do. Michelle says, do UK residents have to have both vaccines to be allowed to sail on cruises which require vaccinations? Yes. And it's normally at least 1 week or 2 weeks before the cruise date that you have to have your vaccines. So you have to be fully vaccinated. And with the 3 months between your first and second, which they're currently doing here, that puts me at kind of an October time to cruise. Bonnie says 8,000. Yeah, 8,000 members in our Facebook group. The Facebook group was one of the first things I started. That's been going before this YouTube channel even. I think we just hit 41,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is absolutely... I can't imagine 41,000 people. Can't imagine it at all. Thank you, John, for all my super sticker. John is my king spud. He is king of the spuds with the most potato-related comments in our Facebook group and here on YouTube. Thank you, John, for that one. One thing I did do is I put out a river cruise video this week because I had 500,000 views on river cruise content on my channel. So I thought, aha, I have people on here who care about river cruising, and I haven't talked about it for ages. So I put out a video yesterday talking about my first river cruise, which was really, really good, because I realized that, to me, I feel as though everybody's been here since the beginning. I feel like I know everybody and everybody knows me and everything I've done. But of course, people don't. People are joining my channel now. People joined my channel 6 months ago and they don't know about that cruise. And it was so unbelievably good. So I made a video about that. I shared it with some of my Patreons to check it. They get early access to the videos just to check I didn't do anything awful. And that one is live now. So I think it's had 25,000 views in the last day, which is crazy. But it's all of those river cruise people who've come to our channel. Appreciate you if you're one of those. Oh, Rachel says, great content and glad you took the leap to do this full time. Wish you every bit of success. Thank you so much. It has been such a good week. I have got so much done. So many things that I've been putting off for a really long time, kind of more kind of admin-y, businessy things that I've been thinking, just do that when I have more time. Now I do, and I've got stuff done, and it's very satisfying to tick things off the list. And at the end of the day, I feel like, yes, I have achieved something. Like today, I have written 2 new blog posts on the website, and I've done this live stream, so I can go to sleep feeling kind of achieved. So it's all good. It is all good. I'm loving it. Oh, good question. Oh, thank you for your super chat. Do you have, I have never been to Iceland. I would love to go to Iceland. It's expensive as far as I know. So I would make, I would make the most out of if you're, I don't know. I've never been, you know, if anybody is in the comments and has been to Iceland, please let me know. I'd love to go. To me, I've just always thought it's an expensive place to visit. So I never have, but that sounds really cool. I have only kind of on a cruise visited Dublin, which was awesome, and it was sunny. I don't think you need any specific tips. Where are you from? Are you from the UK? Because if you are, that's not too different. If you're from the US, bring a coat, bring an umbrella. Even if you come over here during the heat wave in summer, bring a coat, bring an umbrella. It's pretty easy to do your own thing, to wander around, do things on your own terms. So it's all good. Lou says he has been to Iceland and he has 2 friends there. Now, what is it like to travel there, Lou? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I made it to the live chat. Yippee, whoop, whoop. Yeah, the time is weird this week because we have not changed our clocks here in the UK and we're changing them at the weekend. So then we'll be back in sync and we will be 5 hours between the UK and Eastern time. I think that's the right time. We've got 246 people in here today, which is pretty good for one of these live streams. So thank you if you are watching this and you're a new person to my channel who's found me through the river cruise crazy stuff that's happened this week, all the people that watch my live stream with Don and everything that's happened. My mum just popped up and said, we've been to Iceland. Don't bother to go to the Blue Lagoon, says my mum. Don't bother with the Blue Lagoon. John says, join Patreon, become a spud. Thank you, John. Nathan just found my channel yesterday and he loves my content. Thank you so much, Nathan. It has been the craziest week. I've spent hours and hours and hours replying to comments because I like to reply to comments, especially on YouTube. I mean, a lot of them are really weird and a lot of them I do just have to ignore, but I try to reply to as many as I can. It's weird for me because like today, I spent some time writing a blog post about the differences between MSC and Princess, because there's a lot of people here in the UK who would normally cruise with Princess, can't because of vaccines, and they're asking me, how does it compare to MSC? And they're very, very different. I love Princess, I love MSC, but you need to know that they're different things before you book an MSC cruise. So I've kind of been doing a series of comparing things to MSC. I can do that. I've cruised with MSC 3 times. And when I take a break from that, I'm like, okay, right, I've been writing for 3 hours. I'm going to take a break. And I just reply to comments. Like, that's what I go back to all the time, because it's just nice. If someone takes the time to comment to me, I really want to reply. So I'm really sorry if I haven't replied to you, but trying my best. Cindy says, please pet Hudson for me. Meow. Hudson is not here. He's here. He's in the house, but he is sulking because it is raining. And I've been showing him today, you know, when he's meowing, saying, meow, I want it not to rain. And I show him, Hudson, it's rain. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. Patrick says, hello, are you missing having 500 viewers all watching you at the same time? No. I mean, well, yes, if there were 500 here, that would be awesome. But 260 is more than enough people watching my live stream. Patrick is talking about the live stream I did last week with Don, which was really fun. Really, really fun. It was really good to talk to Don. And I think that's had about 10,000 views since I published it, which for a live chat, that's amazing. But that was a really good chat. I could chat to him for hours and hours and hours, no problem. Terry says, if a test is required, who pays for it? I understand the traveler has to pay to be able to fly, but is it the same to sail? So yeah, a lot of cruise lines, if they're not requiring you to be vaccinated, they're requiring you to have 2 coronavirus tests, one that you do within 3 days before the cruise, and the other one that you do at the cruise port. So they would pay for the one at cruise port, but if you have to have one within a couple of days, you'd have to pay and you'd have to sort that out yourself. Love Cruising says, I've been watching some of your older videos, really enjoyed your responses to mean comments. Well, I used to have more time to reply to mean comments. When I do get mean comments now, I look at it and sometimes I write a reply and then I delete it. And I think my time would be better spent replying to someone who's nice to me. Surely the nice people deserve it more than the mean ones. So I don't really do that anymore, although sometimes it's hard because they're just funny. Sometimes it's hard. What is your favorite cruise ship that you have been on? Great question. Tricky answer though, tricky answer. So I always say my favorite cruise ship is the Norwegian Spirit, because it's the first cruise ship I ever went on. And it was very, very special. I was just reading a comment from my mum that says, please say hi to Dave and Lorraine. They're big fans and you missed them. Sorry, Dave and Lorraine, I missed you. Sorry, but hello. But yeah, I always say the Norwegian Spirit is my favorite just because you know how it is with your first cruise ship. It's really special. It wasn't made for Norwegian. It's one of the smaller ships and it's just lovely. It just has so much space. It doesn't have go-karts. It doesn't have all of that kind of stuff on it. But just as far as sitting by the pool and just eating in a restaurant and sitting in a bar, it's absolutely amazing. I also really like the kind of newer MSC ships. I love the Meraviglia, any ships like that. I like the new kind of, not new, but the Norwegian Getaway, Norwegian Breakaway, those ones for Norwegian. And I like the ones for Princess. I like the Royal Princess. And if I had enough money, I would just cruise with Viking because their ships are amazing. Lou down there doing Viking into the Midnight Sun. Yeah, that's what I did. So good. Yeah, they have done a massive, massive refit on Spirit. So when I was on board, I filmed a before ship tour thinking, oh, I'll be able to get like a little week in Europe and do an after part and put it together. But at the moment, it's still just the before part waiting, no after part, but hopefully. Thank you, Cindy, for my super sticker. Massively appreciate that one. Everyone is saying hello to my mum. Hello to my mum. Rich says, are you going to be doing Disney Magic? The opportunity is too good to miss. Rich, I cannot afford it. Have you seen the prices of a Disney cruise? I'm sure they're amazing. But if it comes down to it, if it's a week on an MSC cruise or one day on a Disney cruise, I don't like Star Wars. I only just watched The Lion King last year. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to cruise with Disney. I would love to take my nieces on there because I think they would love it. But I don't have infinite money. So yeah, there's no plans for me to cruise with Disney. But normally we don't have Disney over here in the UK. So it is nice to have that choice. I feel like we have got so much choice. Are you nervous because you're twiddling your hair? No, I'm twiddling my hair because it is so unbelievably annoying. And I have so much hair because hairdressers are closed here. They've been closed for ages. I can't get a haircut, so my hair is constantly falling in my face. And I really need a haircut. That is why. That is why. And also when I talk, I'm quite like wiggly, so it all flies everywhere. But it is what it is. Would you go on a cruise to Germany? Yes, I absolutely would. No question there. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Do you think that the industry is losing something with the scrapping of lots of older, smaller ships, and all of the new cruise ships seem to be huge 150,000 tonners? Yeah, I do. What I like is kind of when a major cruise company like Royal Caribbean sells off some of their cruise ships, what they will do sometimes is they'll sell them to kind of a secondary cruise line. So here in Europe, we've got Marella and Celestial, who have got the older Royal Caribbean ships. So we still have them and they're still living. The Celestial Olympia is from the 1980s, and then I have cruised on the Marella Discovery, which is from the 1990s. And both of those ships were Royal Caribbean ships. So I think it's nice when that happens. I think it's nice when the cruise ships kind of just move down the cruise line chain, as opposed to, of course, being scrapped, because it's always sad to see a cruise ship scrapped. But it is what it is. If it's not profitable for a cruise line, then they're not going to keep it. Jasmine says, are Vikings super expensive? Would they break the £100 per night rule? Yes. If you could get a Viking cruise for 100 or 200, that I would be there. That would be amazing. It's more £300-400 per night, I'd say, for a Viking cruise. And it's one of those things, it 100% is worth it. 100%. There's no question in my mind. It's fabulous. But yeah, there's no way I can do it. They don't normally, well, they do sometimes sell from the UK. They're around. They're around. What is the latest cruise you have been on? So the last cruise I was on was in the end of 2019. I didn't get to cruise in 2020. I had a plan to kind of, I think in my head, I was like, I'm going to work and save all my annual leave for 4 months at the start of 2020. Then I'm going to go on cruises in summer. And obviously that didn't work. If I'd done it the other way around, it would have been a lot better. But yeah, so it was the Norwegian Spirit at the end of 2019. It was fabulous. Yeah, closer to $500 per night. That's what I'd say, around £300-400, $500 a night. I mean, so like, yeah, I have no problem with things being expensive. I am on a budget, but if something matches the price and what you get, that's completely fine with me. That's great. Lynn says, I got married on a Disney ship for £1,500, including the room. Nice, that sounds amazing. ARC Adventures says, I agree they should save an older ship or two rather than scrapping them all. There has to be a big market for smaller ships. The problem is that the smaller ship market is the luxury market, and the luxury market and old cruise ships don't really go together. So it's just less profitable for them to do smaller ships versus bigger ships, which is why they keep churning out bigger and bigger ships, because economies of scale. I have half a business degree. I do have half a maths and half a business degree, actually. But it just doesn't make sense for them to make the smaller ships unless they can charge a lot. But yeah. John says, Virgin, would you give it a second chance on a real sailing? I would love to give it a second chance. Absolutely. I just really want real people to get on there, and we'll see. I've seen that they have invited 1,000 travel agents on their cruises. I'm not a travel agent. Maybe I can set up as a travel agent to be invited and then quit my travel agency. I don't know. I do work with a travel agent here, and she has got one of the voyages, I think. I think she's going on them. But yeah, absolutely. Is Viking worth that sort of money? What is so different? I love Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Yeah, the experience on a Viking cruise is so different from a Royal Caribbean or a Carnival cruise. So all of their ships have, I think it's 900 and something passengers. All of the food is included. Your drinks are included with meals. You can drink things from the mini bar. The bathroom has underfloor heating. The mirrors have anti-steam up technology in them. Just everything. There's only balcony cabins. It seems like there's a really high kind of crew to person ratio, and the ships are just gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense with luxury avoiding old ships. It's a shame. It is a shame. Because, yeah, when they do update cruise ships, so I took a cruise on the Morella Discovery, which is from the 1990s, but it was so well done that it felt a lot newer than a lot of ships that I've been on that were maybe 5 years old. Thank you, Brandon, for my super chat. I appreciate that, Brandon. Fish. I can't really read because the stripes are giving me a headache, so apologies. What about Saga ship would you give it another go? I loved your review. There's so much we've booked. That's amazing. I would love to cruise with Saga again, but I can't. I have to be 50 plus to take a Saga cruise. I was supposed to be going to another one of their press events last summer, but obviously that didn't happen. If I could, I would. Those ships are gorgeous. Again, they're kind of more on the premium end, more included and more prices. Lou says Viking destinations have included excursions. Yes, they have included excursions. So it's kind of just like if you were somebody who would go to specialty restaurants, who would go on excursions, just add it all together and pay it at the beginning. That's kind of what a Viking cruise is, apart from the fact that the ship is so unbelievably nice compared to everything else. And 900 passengers is so different from 5,000. It's completely different. When I win some money, I'll try them, says Terry. Yeah, I think so. Sasha says anti-steam up technology is awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. I've never seen that before. I know it's a thing, anyone can get it, but the underfloor heating in the bathroom was so good, so unbelievably good. You just want to stand in the bathroom all the time. Paperboat said, have you had any experiences with ships in storms? Yeah, I've been on quite a few cruises where we've been in a storm and they've cancelled a few ports because of bad weather. I think the worst one is I took a cruise on the MSC Meraviglia, and I think it was Christmas. It was Christmas. So that time of year where the weather's not great, and we had a storm there, and that was not nice. I do get pretty seasick, but it is what it is. Patrick says, how was making your new course? My new course has been sent to them and it is live. So I'm really relieved about that. As part of the contest that I won a job contract. That was kind of the main thing, to make a course. I made a course about Patreon because I love my Patreon. It's been the best thing I've done in ages. And I sent it to them and it is live. It is within a blogging community. You cannot get to it. You cannot see it unless you join Income School. But I'm very happy with it. I've had some really nice messages about it. So I'm happy. It feels good. It feels nice. Oh, good question about cookies. Kevin says, we've booked on the MSC Meraviglia from your fantastic videos. What kind of cookies do they have on MSC? You know, I don't remember the cookies on MSC, and I'm not sure if that's, well, it's not a good thing and it's not a bad thing. If they were really bad, I remember, or if there was none, I would remember. But they're also not as good as Princess cookies or Viking cookies. I can tell you that. They're okay. You know, I can't remember. I think they're kind of the small ones, not the big chocolate chip ones that you get on Princess. I know somebody's looking for how many times I say cookie, so cookie. Marcus says, who are the Zoomies? The Zoomies are a group of my Patreons who I do Zoom calls with sometimes. They're called my Zoomies. I loved your giant wrestler's belt that you won. Shiny. Yeah, I have it here. I'm going to show you again. If you've been here since the beginning, you might have seen it. But I just want to show you this. It's unbelievably cool. It is huge. I knew that this was a prize before I entered the competition. The competition went on for a couple of months, and it was all about blogging, all about YouTube, and I had to submit stuff every kind of couple of days. And then this giant thing is the prize. Ultimate Content Warrior. You can see yourself there if you want. There you are. It's just so huge, so unbelievably huge. Oh, great question. Great question. Two questions, actually. Thank you for my super chat. Would you ever go on a cruise to Dubai? Yes, I would. I don't think there's any places I would not take a cruise from. Dubai, the thing that puts me off Dubai is the intense heat in Dubai. I'm not good at heat. I'm from England. It normally rains here. But if I could go, does it ever get not hot in Dubai? I don't know. But yeah, I would cruise. I would cruise there for sure. And also, what is squash? You said it in your video. So this is squash. Squash is a category of drinks. There's hundreds of types of squash. It's basically like soda, but it's not fizzy. It's a diluted fruit juice, is what it is. And we drink it all here in the UK, so much of it. So this is squash. I have it every single live stream because I get really thirsty. Patrick says, has Hudson tried on the belt yet? Hudson, I don't think he could carry this belt even if he wanted to. Don't think he could. Will you take a Carnival cruise? I tried my best. I really want to cruise with Carnival. And I booked one for 2020. One was going to be in Europe. It was the Carnival Radiance just after her big refit. I thought it was perfect. I got a really good price. I even booked myself an ocean view. I booked myself an ocean view. How is that? And it was cancelled. Obviously, it was cancelled. Oh, hello to Dan. Dan has just become a member of my YouTube channel. Thank you, Dan. There were a couple of other people who did this before the live stream. I tried to send you a message, but YouTube's not great at that. So thank you to you two who joined and Dan who joined now. If you're a YouTube member, you get to listen to my podcast I do every single week where I just say, oh my goodness, guys, I can't believe this is happening, or what should I do with this? And you get little emojis that Marcus is always using there in the chat, and kind of priority on YouTube so I can see your comments better. So thank you, Dan, for that one. Do you get to keep the belt or do you have to give it up next year? I get to keep this belt. This is the first time that they've ever done this contest, but it is mine and I'm going to hang it, I think, above the stairs because I don't have that much space, to be honest. Thank you so much for my super chat and a really good question about the Norwegian Fjords. I love the Norwegian Fjords. I have cruised there twice. I have cruised on P&O and Viking, and I have got one booked for next year on Royal Caribbean. Pretty much all of the major cruise lines do cruise to the fjords. So it's more a case of what kind of cruise line you would like. You could go with Royal Caribbean. For me, if I'm just going to recommend one cruise line, I would recommend Princess probably. They do quite a lot of Norwegian Fjord cruises. If you want a British cruise where everything is British food, afternoon tea, all of that kind of stuff, I would recommend a P&O cruise. But pretty much every cruise line does cruise the Norwegian Fjords. All of the big ones you'll find there. The Norwegian Fjord cruise season isn't that long, so a lot of cruise ships will come across and do the season and then go back. So that question is more about what kind of cruise line would you like rather than which one for the fjords. And as far as the tips for the cruise go, bring a coat. It will rain. No matter when you go, it will rain. Get ready to do a lot of walking and walking up hills. Bring very comfortable shoes. And as much as you can, set a budget for how much you want to spend on land and stick to it. Because I had 1 pint of cider that cost me £12, which is probably $15, something like that, for one drink. So it's very expensive in Norway. Make the most out of the money that you've spent on the cruise. And if you want to come back for lunch on the ship, feel free, do it. Of course, if you want to invest money in the local economy, that's good too. But Norway is very expensive on land. MSC do amazing cookies. They have Nutella in the middle. I've never found that on any of my 3 MSC cruises. That sounds fabulous. I don't know why Todd is talking about the plague instead of plaques. Jenny says, have you been on the Sky Princess? If so, any tips, please? We just booked her. I haven't. She is the ship that I had booked my British Isles cruise on. So I was supposed to be cruising on her in August. And I think I'm going to cruise on her later in the year, but not. I don't know. I think the thing about Princess is once you've been on one Princess ship, you'll recognize all of them. They're all just kind of, Sky Princess is just an upgraded, bigger, more exciting version of Regal and Royal. If you like one, I think you'll like all the other ones. Emma, if you are going on a cruise this year, what are you going on and where to? See, this is tricky. This is tricky because I don't know what's going to happen anymore. My plan was to do the British Isles cruise in August. I'm hoping that I will get on an MSC cruise soon because they don't need vaccines and I'm ready to cruise. Apart from that, I'm going to wait until I have my vaccine and then I think I'm going to do a Princess cruise. I would also like to do a Cunard cruise. I haven't done a Cunard cruise in ages. And Morella are coming back, so I'm interested in them. If Norwegian and Royal Caribbean come back, I'm interested in them too. I have booked P&O cruises for next Christmas and the end of the year, so we'll just have to wait and see at this moment. I don't know what is going to happen, to be quite honest with you. I don't think any of us do. I'm going on the MSC Magnifica. It is having a water park fitted and going around the Mediterranean. That sounds awesome. The MSC water parks are so much fun. Oh, Emma has just become a member of my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Emma. Appreciate that. Well, Michael says, sure, your channel is going to do really well. Would you consider setting up content on something like a world cruise? Absolutely, I would. Why not? I'll try anything once. Simon says, can we move our Morella cruise to next year if we've only paid the deposit? I don't know with Morella, to be honest with you. Some of the cruise lines are being better than others, let's say. I'm not sure about Morella. Maybe let's ask other Emma. What did you think of Cunard, says Lynn. I loved my Cunard cruise, but it was unlike anything I've ever done before. Completely different. So that's why I started my website. That's why I started my YouTube channel. That's why I started talking about cruising in a Facebook group, because I went on the Cunard cruise. I had cruised before, but only with Norwegian and MSC. So I thought cruising was this kind of relaxed, no dress codes, like just chilled out, fun thing that I knew it was. And I took a Cunard cruise. Dress codes are shit wide after 6 p.m. It's bow ties. It's jackets for the men that you can't take off in certain times. And I just sat there and I thought, is this what everybody else thinks cruising is? Is it? Because if it is, I need to tell everybody that this is not what every cruise is like. There's cruises like that. If you want to do that really formal dress stuff, you can, but you don't have to. So that's why I started my website. The Cunard cruise, the food was really good. We would have free room service. It's not a busy cruise. Everybody is asleep. 9 p.m. Everybody is asleep. But it's just different. If you know that, if you know the dress codes ahead of time, if you know that you're going to bring some books and sit by the pool and read, then it is great. Or Emma says, yes, you can amend depending on the dates you booked. Is where depending on the book, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Emma has got it. Read Emma's comments. She can do it better than me. Would you recommend a Cunard cruise for a 4-year-old looking at a Southampton to New York? I don't know, because Cunard do say that they're for families. I don't think I saw a single child on my cruise. I really don't think I did. But it depends what your child likes. So I know some children that would be really bored without constantly being entertained by Disney princesses and water slides and stuff like that. And if your child will be bored by that, Cunard's not for you. But if they're quite happy to entertain themselves, go for it. Absolutely go for it. I think it really depends on the child and the person. Cunard definitely isn't for everybody, but it is for some people. Bill says, sorry, I'm late. How's everybody doing? That's okay. The time will be different next week. So the time will be an hour earlier if you're in the US next week and moving on. Tom says, how do I become an e-member? So underneath this YouTube video, there should be a button that says join. You can join my channel or you can join us on Patreon. I have kept YouTube membership just at the $5 thing. And for the $5, you get the podcast and you get the membership and stuff. And if you want higher tiers with more stuff, Patreon, I think, is better for that. So you can either click join here or Patreon Emma Cruises. That's where I'm at. That's where all of the secret behind the scenes stuff is. David says, I want to do Cunard and do some formal ballroom. Yes, it very much is that. It's very much afternoon tea, very much ballroom dancing, all of that stuff. 300 people watching. Yeah, I see 315 because I see the combined Facebook and YouTube. 315. That's very cool. A great question. This is exactly what I like. Oh, that's not the question I wanted to put on the screen, but I will answer that one in a minute. This one. Is my 15-year-old granddaughter too young or am I too old to cruise? Neither of those. My first cruise, I was 11 years old and my gran was on that cruise with me and the rest of my family. And I still cruise. My gran still cruises. She's in her 90s. From about 6 months old, I think you have to be on most cruise lines, up until forever. There's a cruise. There is a cruise for everybody. What is your favorite bit of a celebrity cruise? The buffet. The end. The food in the buffet is absolutely amazing. And what ship is your favorite in the fleet? See, I've only been on Eclipse and Silhouette, and I think I would really like Edge or Apex. So I'm going to reserve judgment until hopefully I've got on board one of those cruise ships. I was supposed to be on Apex for kind of a press event, but that didn't happen for obvious reasons. Love Cruising says, I hope you do another live stream with Don soon. That was fun to watch. Yeah, that was really fun to do and really easy for me just to chat to somebody for an hour. Really easy. Yeah, John, I've tried to invite John. I am ready whenever he is ready. Lou took his daughter on her first cruise when she was 4. Yes, 4. 4 is very sweet. I was 11, and it was so much fun at 11. So much fun. I'm going to switch over now from my squash to my tea, if that's okay. If it's not, I'm still going to do it because you can't tell me what to do. I'm here, and you're there. I can't believe how crazy this week has been. It's just been so encouraging and so unbelievably nice. It's so good. So good. Hopefully it carries on. Mike says, are you going to get Emma Otter on your channel? I don't think Emma wants to come on my channel. So no. And also the thing is so I'm in the UK. I work with Emma Otter. She is my agent in the UK. We work together because everybody assumes I'm a travel agent. I'm not. I book through Emma and I wouldn't book through anybody else. So we work together now. But most of my audience are from the US, Australia, Canada, not from the UK. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe we could do something just for the UK side. She knows a lot of stuff. Anything kind of travel agents related that you hear me say has come through her. I ask her stuff all the time. Lou says, I took her on her last one and she was 17. Never saw her. She hung out at the team club. Yeah, I used to hang out in the team club. I used to be the teenager we would sit in the hot tubs and we would meet up and have pizza and stuff. It was really fun. It was cool. We just walk around and around and around the ship, and it was fun. It was really good. John says, cruise lines are home porting in the Caribbean because of the slow US opening. Will this be permanent? I guess not. I guess as soon as they can cruise from the US, it's much easier for them, and they will move back. I think this is just a temporary thing. Terry says, can you recap? I missed the UK-US news. Are we going to be able to go on a cruise from Miami yet? No, you cannot cruise from the US yet. The US will not let you. But cruise lines are being really sneaky and trying to get around this and home porting in the Caribbean. So a lot of people are flying to the Caribbean to take a cruise because cruise lines are announcing their cruises from there to try and get around not being able to cruise from the US. In the UK, they're having loads of cruises to nowhere or British Isles cruises. So many cruise lines, it's like 7 different cruise lines have announced this. David says, how dare you change drinks? I'm offended. I'm thirsty. John says, where is the Pepsi Max? Well, for my New Year's resolution, I decided to have 1 Pepsi Max per day, and it's the absolute highlight of my day. I love Pepsi Max so much. And I have done okay at it. Sometimes I do break it, but I need to get the Pepsi Max addiction under control. But there's worse things to be addicted to than Pepsi Max, I'm sure. John says, yeah, Emma Otter is the best. Team Emma for the win. Questions, Royal Caribbean or Princess? Interesting. For me, Royal Caribbean or Princess, if I had to pick one or the other, it would come down to who I was going on the cruise with. If I was going with my family, as in my parents and my brother, I would probably pick Princess. Princess for my family. And if I was going with Jono, my boyfriend, I would pick Royal Caribbean. Princess is more, it's relaxing, it's elegant, it's all kind of romantic and grown up and adult, whereas Royal Caribbean's more kind of casual. And my parents, we don't mind doing dressing up and stuff like that. So that suits us well, whereas me and Jono don't really do that. Marcus says, you know there are 2-litre bottles of Pepsi Max. I do know that. I cannot. Oh, John says, oh my God, on Carnival, my teenagers used to breathe hot tub bubbles and freak me out being under for too long. That sounds really stressful. It doesn't sound great. Have you ever cruised with Holland America? And if not, you need to try one. I have never, and I would love to. I would, and I will. They've just never been where I have been going at the right time to the right place. That's the only reason. That is the only reason. Robert says, what is your real job? As of 2 weeks ago, my real job is being a full-time blogger, YouTuber, course creator, consultant, everything else that I do cruise related now. I worked in the insurance industry for the last 6 years. And I have to say, I have not looked back for 1 second in the last 2 weeks. It has been fabulous. Jack's Cruise Vlog says it's dangerous that the bigger Pepsi Max bottles are cheaper than the smaller ones. Yeah, I always find that interesting how your perception of what is a good price changes. So if I get a little 500 milliliter bottle of Pepsi, if I pay £1 for that, I think that's amazing. £1.50 is fine. For a big one, yeah, it just doesn't, it's not 4 times the price. I wouldn't pay £6 for a 2 litre one. So Stuart says, do you think the cruise to nowhere for the UK is still be allowed? Yes, it is. It is being allowed. So many cruise lines are doing it this summer. We have no rules against cruises to nowhere, thankfully. So we will be doing that. We will be doing that. Dylan says, tea today. Emma, cheers. Tea today. Yes, this is peppermint tea. Thank you, Dylan, for last week's super chat to buy Hudson some Dreamies. I have not done that yet. He has no Dreamies, which may be why he's not joining us for our live stream today. Maybe. I just haven't been to shops. I get my food delivered because I don't need to go outside. So Holland America has the most delicious food. I'm sure it does. I've heard good things about the food. I've heard good things about the service on board. I've not heard anything bad. I think it's more of a relaxing cruise. It's not like a Norwegian cruise line cruise, but that would suit me fine. On a cruise, which ice cream would you go for? Vanilla, chocolate, or swirl? Oh, I'd go for a vanilla. I'm not a massive chocolate ice cream kind of person, to be honest. Maybe go for if it's mint, this mint chocolate, maybe I'll go for that. Or a strawberry, maybe a strawberry. Didn't Disney just announce cruises to nowhere out of the UK? Yes, Disney did. So the cruises from the UK, let me just list off the cruise lines that are supposed to be cruising out of the UK in summer. We're supposed to have P&O, Princess, Marella, Viking, MSC, Disney, hopefully Norwegian or Royal Caribbean. There's so many. Cunardar, so many. Thank you, Kevin, for my super chat. And he says, Emma, do you know how to make cookies? I do. There's not many ingredients in cookies. I don't do very much baking or cooking at the minute. I'm not a chef at all, but cookies I can handle. I used to make some really good kind of M&M cookies. They were amazing. I need to make them again. But the problem is you make a whole batch of them, and then I would just eat them all, and I'll eat the cookie dough, and yeah, let's not. John says, if you did a rant, what would likely be the subject? People who don't say please or thank you, or people who don't move out the way, people who have no manners on cruises. Maybe I could rant on that for a very long time. Too many examples? Yeah, no. Well, Dan says, do cruises offer one-way cruises? Is it possible to cruise from the US to the UK and stay in the UK for a while and fly or cruise back? Yeah, so most cruises across the Atlantic are one-way cruises. And if you wanted to do both, you'd have to book 2 cruises. Most of them are one-way. For most other cruises, sorry, I'm just blocking some weird comments here. Block user. Thank you. I love the power of the internet, being able to block and just hide people. It is great. Just someone asking me what my weight is. I have just irrelevant. Touching your food in the buffet, yeah, that could be another rant. Or potatoes, that could be a rant for sure. But yeah, I'm going to stop ranting about that one. I could rant about mean YouTube comments for sure, if anyone wanted me to do that. Daniel says, people in Canada waiting for cruises. Yeah. Yep. I'm sorry for you guys. Did you know Disney Cruise Line may sink the Disney Magic for it to become an artificial reef? Not sure about that one. Dave is off for a birthday meal now. Bye, Emma. Goodbye, Dave. Have a great birthday meal. And happy birthday if it's your birthday. Well, Mark has booked on the Sky Princess in September for a seacation. Can't wait. That sounds amazing. I'm still not annoyed, but it is annoying that they cancelled my British Isles cruise to make way for British Isles cruises. I totally understand why. Totally do. But I really wanted to cruise on Sky Princess. Monetize your response to mean comments. See, this is the thing. So for a year ago, I did a 12-hour live stream fundraising, and I made a video for that responding to mean comments. And it wasn't even supposed to go on my YouTube channel, really. It was just, I thought I'd already made it. I'll put it on there. And it has so many views, and I get comments on it every single day. And none of the mean comments in there are anything as bad as what I get today. So I could definitely do that. Definitely. And no one likes a rant like Don. Yeah, agree. I watch all of Don's rants. What would be the best cruise line to take 2 teenager boys on holiday? Speaking as someone who cruised as a teenager, I would say Norwegian, Royal Caribbean. If you're from the UK, you could do maybe a Marella cruise, any of the big American cruise lines. If they've got water slides on them, MSC for sure would be really good. Depends what your teenagers like. I like all of that stuff. Even now I'm an adult, I still like the ropes courses and the water slides and things like that. Any affordable river cruises. So as far as kind of budget river cruises go, I think Arosa is quite a good one. They do a lot of free children's places. So I know a lot of cruise lines aren't really for, I don't think of river cruise lines as being for children, but they have free children's places, which is cool. And TUI are bringing out a river cruise line. So I think they'll be more on the budget side. Crossy Europe as well are kind of on the more budget side. But yeah, because there's only 100 people on a river cruise, it's never going to be as cheap as a 6,000 person ocean cruise. It's just completely different. Scott says, the more people that watch, the more who will leave bad comments. Yes, I tried to send you a message, Scott, but Scott is one of my YouTube members, and I tried to send him a message, but there is no way that I can send you a message. I can't contact you other than Scott C. So Scott C, if you could send me an email, emma@emmacruises.com, that would be really good. Thank you. YouTube does not make it easy. It doesn't tell me who my members' names are other than Scott C. So thank you, Scott C. But please, thank you. Emma on the Flow Rider. Yeah, I have been on the Flow Rider. I did do okay on the Flow Rider, actually. And when I did okay, I thought, this is it. I've done okay. I didn't stand, but I went on my knees, which I thought was way better than what I thought. So I thought, I'm calling it quits. I'm never doing that again. It was scary. I don't think I'm going to do it again. But I've done it, and that's the good thing. A Paperboat says, what is the worst cruise you've been on? Not according to me, but according to Cruise Critic reviews, the worst cruise I've ever been on was the Costa Luminosa. And the reviews on Cruise Critic are awful for that. I put out a video recently, which is about how the worst cruise that I've ever been on went. And it was fine. It was really cheap. I don't know what people expected in the comments, but it was good. It was good. That's the worst one I've ever been on, technically. Technically. Scott C says, we'll do this now. Thank you. I just feel really bad that I cannot message my members on YouTube, which is why I have moved more to Patreon, because on Patreon, I have a message box. I can just send people messages. I do, for some of my Patreons, I just send them like personalized video messages. So I will send them if I'm here, like in my pajamas, or I've just come in, it's raining, it doesn't matter. I'll still send someone a message. Some of them are probably awful. So if you are a Patreon, sorry about that. But yeah, I tend to send people over to Patreon just because I feel like it's a better experience, but there's bonus stuff you can get on YouTube. So I decided to keep the YouTube one, just make it $5, easy peasy, and then everything else is over on Patreon. What food would you like to see on a cruise ship? Ramsay fish and chips, that would be brilliant, yes. I saw Royal Caribbean has some sort of fish and chip shop, and the portion sizes were nothing like what I'm used to for fish and chips. So yeah, a good fish and chip shop with loads of proper chips. That would be really good. Stuart says, cheers, grab a tea or coffee and a couple of Pepsi Max. Appreciate the content. Thank you. £5 will buy me quite a lot of Pepsi Max. That will keep me going for a while. So appreciate that one. Kevin says, you can also message your Facebook followers. Yeah, I try my best. My Facebook is stuck at 100 plus notifications permanently. And Facebook has made these new updates. I just recently found a new folder that had messages in it from the last 3 months, and I just replied to them yesterday. Facebook is not the best place ever. It's very tricky. It gets very overwhelmed, and mine's just stuck at 100+ notifications because everything that happens in our Facebook group, which is loads of stuff, it thinks I need to know about everything. So it's tricky. It is tricky. Oh, Carl says we have Coke coffee here in the States. That sounds horrible. I'm not a fan of coffee at all. Not a fan. I've never had a full cup of coffee. Never made it through a cup of coffee. Just don't like it. Marcus says 197 out of 200. So close. Thumbs up. If you can thumbs up this video, if you can thumbs up any of my videos you watch, it just tells YouTube that you liked it and it will show you more of my stuff. Thank you, Scott. I did just notice my phone flash up with an email. So thank you. I will talk to you after this one. What is the best looking ship in your opinion? That's interesting. I like the ships that look kind of more classical rather than kind of square. I really like the look of the kind of Cunard ships. I think they're really nice. But also I like the Norwegian ones with their really kind of colourful artwork on them. I think they're nice too. Mario says, just wanted to say I appreciate your 60-second cruise updates. Thank you. I appreciate them too because it keeps me up to date with everything that's going on in the week, because especially like this week, there's so much cruise news. I can't believe it. And sitting down, I do that every Monday. I do my 60-second cruise news and I send out my email newsletter that has all the news and everything that's happened on it. And it means I get to sit down and work out what's happened in the week that's worth telling people about. Cold tea. We have iced tea in the United States. No, tea should never be cold. If you leave it to go cold, then you've made a mistake and that's wrong. That's bad. Tea should be hot. Not a fan of iced tea. I guess we don't have the weather for iced tea here. It is always cold. It's really cold here. It's raining all day. I'm only in a t-shirt because I have lights here and it gets very warm. I feel like a little baby chicken, like under the lights being heated up. Bye to David. Bye. Carl says sweet tea. Yeah, no. Paper Boat says ocean liner or cruise, which looks better? There's not really many to compare to anymore. I don't really mind. I don't really have a preference. Thank you, Mike, for my super chat. I really appreciate that one. I will spend it on cookies, Pepsi Max, potatoes, whatever you guys want. I will do that. Peeps and Pepsi are making a drink together, says Francisco. Not sure about that. Francisco put a really funny meme in our Facebook group just before this. It just made me laugh. Just made me laugh. Nothing like an iced tea on a hot day. Yeah, see that maybe we don't have hot days, so I don't need iced tea. I need warm tea to keep me warm. I suppose, I mean, I would just have squash if it's hot. So maybe the fact the US doesn't really have squash in the same way, maybe that's where that kind of problem comes from. I will drink tea any way you make it. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Yeah, I probably would do the same. If someone gave me, I mean, if I ordered a tea and it came and it was cold, I would be really confused, but I would still drink it. I think, so I don't really complain about many things. I think you'd have to do something really awful for me to complain about it. If I order something and it wasn't what I expected, I would just eat it or drink it like it's fine. Unless it was inedible, then I wouldn't eat it. T just says, I love you. Thank you, T. That's very nice. Buffet, main dining room, specialty, or room service. You can cross off specialty for me most of the time because I'm going to eat the food I've already paid for, to be quite honest. I'm in the buffet. Absolutely, I'm in the buffet. I normally eat my main meals in the main dining room because the food's good and someone else is going to bring it to me. What is not to like about that? And then in between the buffet, and if room service is free, I might try it. But if it's not free, then I won't try it. I feel like you're getting a theme here from me. I got what I wanted, an Emma smile. I think I'm wearing out my face from these live streams. Like, I come off these live streams and it genuinely like aches my face. Okay, guys, we have managed to chat for another hour. I don't know how. The fastest hour of the week, absolutely. But thank you so much for joining me. I will be back next week. I'm thinking about doing kind of just alternating me and then me and someone, and then me and then me and someone. I do want to do trivia still, but I might make that a different day. So it might be, you know, the first day of the month trivia and then on Friday, we just keep it chat. Friday chats, if that works with you. So I'll be back next week. Thank you so much to everybody who has joined me. And thank you, everybody, for your super chats and your really kind words. And if you're new here, then thank you so much. It's been really cool this week. Everybody have a great weekend, now. And I will see you next week. Be aware that the time is different next week because we'll be in a different time. It's too confusing, but back to normal time next week. Goodbye, everybody. I will see you later. Thank you, everybody.